What if I told you that everything you've learned about finding peace is wrong? That your daily battle against chaos, anxiety, and mental noise is a battle you will never win, at least not the way you're fighting it now. We've tried everything, haven't we? Guided meditations, mindfulness apps, calming teas, weekend getaways. We build little sandcastles, desperately trying to stop the ocean of chaos from invading our minds. But the tide always rises. The noise always returns. This modern chaos is a mental tsunami. It's the infinite scroll on social media, the pressure to be more productive, the 24-hour news cycle, the feeling that we are always late, always owing something. It's a prison without bars, where we are our own jailer, and peace becomes a luxury item, something that maybe one day we'll be able to buy. But what if the solution isn't to build higher walls? What if the secret isn't to fight against the storm, but to find a point of absolute silence that already exists within it? Thousands of years ago, in the greatest moment of crisis and anguish a human being could face, a secret was revealed, a mental hack, a divine code for the mind, delivered by the greatest strategist of all time, Krishna, to his friend Arjuna, who was paralyzed by fear in the middle of a battlefield. This code is not a simple catchphrase. It is a spiritual technology, a formula capable of reprogramming your response to chaos. The key to unlocking this unshakable calm is hidden in plain sight, in 4 lines of a sacred text, the Bhagavad Gita. This is our treasure map for today. Act firmly in your duty, but abandon all attachment to success or failure. This ability to keep the mind in perfect balance is true yoga. Perfect balance. This is what Krishna calls Samatvam. It is not indifference. It is not apathy. It is a power, the superpower of walking through the middle of a fire without getting burned, of facing victory and defeat with the same serene smile. Forget the sandcastles. In the next few minutes, I am not going to teach you how to fight against chaos. I am going to give you the code to find peace within it. We are going to decipher this verse step by step and transform it into a practical tool for your life today. But before we proceed, I need you to make a commitment that you declare your intention right here in the comments with strength and faith. I choose calm. By doing this, you not only strengthen your own journey, but you also inspire everyone who reads it. And if you feel that this journey is for you, join our community by subscribing to the channel so that we never lose sight of each other. Perfect. I'm glad we found the right tone. The energy is anchored. Now, let's deepen the connection, validating the viewer's experience and beginning to unravel the root of the problem. Now, to understand Krishna's code, we first need to understand what it aims to hack. We need to perform an autopsy on our inner chaos. Why, after all, has our mind become such a noisy place? The answer is as simple as it is frightening. We were programmed for chaos. Think about it. Modern society sells us a grand illusion, the illusion of control. It tells us, if you have the right car, the right job, the right body, the right relationship, then, and only then, will you have peace. It teaches us to attach our happiness, our calm to external outcomes, to success, and we, like good students, have learned the lesson. We become attached. Attachment, that word so central to Krishna's teaching. We get attached to the idea that the project must succeed. We get attached to the expectation that a certain person must love us back. We get attached to the image we project on social media. We get attached to victory. And even more, we develop a terrifying dread of failure. It's as if we were holding a handful of sand with all our might. The tighter we squeeze, the more the sand slips through our fingers, and the more desperate we become. The chaos, my friend, is not in external events. The rain that falls, the boss who pressures you, the bill that arrives. That is not chaos. That is life. Life is a flow, a river with currents, rocks, and waterfalls. The real chaos, the true source of our suffering, is our insane attempt to control the river. It's our attachment to a single outcome. I will only be happy if the river is calm and exactly how I want it to be. This is precisely what Krishna points to in our anchor verse. Abandoning all attachment to success or failure. He doesn't say to abandon action. He doesn't say to be passive or lazy. On the contrary, he says, remain firm in your duty. Work, study, love, create, do your best, give 100% of yourself. But the result does not belong to you. The fruit of your action belongs to the divine, to the universe, to the flow of life. When you detach from the outcome, something magical happens. Anxiety loses its power. The fear of failure dissipates. The crushing pressure on your shoulders transforms into a lightness of purpose. You stop fighting against the river and learn to navigate it with mastery, with the calm of someone who knows the final destination is always secure, no matter the path. This is the first key to our code. Chaos is not in the world. It is in our attachment to how the world should be. Now I ask you to look within, with honesty and without judgment. Answer here in the comments. What is the outcome, the success, to which you feel you are most attached right now? Is it a promotion, someone's approval, reaching a certain weight? Recognizing this is the first step toward liberation. Breathe. Feel this truth resonate within you. The first step to calm has been taken. Such courage in each of your responses. Reading what you are attached to, the healing of a family member, a child's success, the search for love, financial stability, is a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. Thank you for that trust. Now, if Krishna asks us to let go of our attachment to results, a question immediately comes to mind, doesn't it? So what do I do? Should I stop caring? Should I live without ambition, without dreams? And it is here that Krishna's genius shines brightly. He gives us the answer in the first part of our verse, Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Remain firm in your duty. Duty. In Sanskrit, the word is Dharma, and I ask you to forget any heavy or boring idea that the word duty might bring up. Dharma is not an imposed obligation, a tedious task. Dharma, in the context of the Gita, is your unique purpose. It is your song. It is what you came into this world to do. It is the right action at the right time with the right intention. Think of the sun. The sun's dharma is to shine. It doesn't shine expecting applause. It doesn't stop shining for fear that someone will complain about the heat. It simply shines because that is its nature. Krishna's hack is this: when your mind is lost in the chaotic ocean of what ifs, oh, what if I fail? What if they don't like it? What if it goes wrong? You rescue it and anchor it with a simple and powerful question. What is my duty right now? This question is your safe harbor. It pulls you out of the anxiety of the future, success, failure, and brings you forcefully into the peace of the present moment. Imagine a surgeon in a complex operation. If her mind is attached to the outcome, will the patient survive? Her hands will tremble. Anxiety will destroy her performance. Her dharma, in that moment, is not to save the patient. That is the result. Her dharma is to make the perfect incision, to place the exact stitch, to use all her knowledge and skill with absolute focus on that single action in that exact second. She concentrates on her duty and thus, paradoxically, maximizes the chances of a good outcome. This applies to everything. If the chaos in your life is pressure at work, your dharma is not to get the promotion. Your dharma is to write that email with clarity, to prepare that presentation to the best of your ability, to focus on the task that is in front of you right now. If the chaos is a difficult family relationship, your dharma might not be to fix the other person. Your dharma might be to simply listen with compassion, to speak your truth with respect, or even to step away with love. It is the right action in the now. Anchoring yourself in your duty is the antidote to the paralysis of anxiety. It is what transforms fear into focused action. So I ask you, look at the storm you described in the first comment. In the midst of all that wind and rain, what is your most immediate and important duty? What is the one action, no matter how small, that you can concentrate on right now? Share it here in the comments. Let's transform anxiety into a focused action plan. You don't have to control the ocean. You just need to row your boat, one stroke at a time. This is the power of Dharma. It's inspiring to see you all identifying your duty, your next paddle stroke in the middle of the ocean. Call my mom. Finish this report. Be patient with my son. Do you see the clarity this brings? Anxiety dissolves when action becomes the focus. And by practicing this, by focusing on duty and letting go of the outcome, you begin to cultivate the most powerful and rare quality a human being can develop. It is what Krishna calls, at the end of our verse, Samatvam. Equanimity, the perfect balance. Siddhya siddhyo samabhutva, remaining the same in success and failure. Of course, here is the translation. I want you to truly absorb the radicalness of this idea. Our entire society is built on its opposite. We are taught to euphorically celebrate victory and to tragically despair in defeat. Our emotional life is a roller coaster, soaring to the heavens with a compliment and plummeting into the abyss with a criticism. Krishna offers us a way off this roller coaster. He invites us to step out of the car and become the mountain itself. Picture a great and majestic mountain. One day, it is bathed in beautiful, golden sunshine. The next, it is lashed by a violent storm with wind, rain, and thunder. The weather changes, the scenery changes, but the mountain remains. Its essence, its strength, its majesty are not affected by the weather of the day. It doesn't become arrogant in the sun, nor depressed by the storm. It simply is a samatvam, is the art of becoming the mountain. Your professional success, your financial gains, the praise you receive, that is the sunny day. Enjoy the warmth, be grateful for it, but do not get attached. Don't let your worth, your very identity, depend on that sunshine, because the weather will change. Your failure, a loss, someone's criticism, a project that went wrong, that is the storm. Feel the rain. Learn from the winds. But do not get attached. Do not identify with the storm. You are not the rain. You are not the thunder. You are the mountain that watches the storm pass by. This is true freedom. When your sense of self is no longer tied to what you have or what you do, but to who you are at your core, a divine soul, spark of eternity. What can the world do to you? Compliments become pleasant, but they do not inflate the ego. Criticism becomes feedback, but it does not wound the soul. You become unshakable. This is what Krishna means by Samatvam, Yoga Uchyate. Such equanimity is called yoga. True yoga isn't just about contorting the body. It's about uncontorting the mind. It is the union of your consciousness with this peace that observes, that remains, that is free. I want to invite you to a short exercise in power. If you can, close your eyes for a moment. If not, just focus on my voice. Take a deep breath and repeat in your mind, I am not the sun. I am not the storm. I am the mountain. One more time. I am not my successes. I am not my failures. I am the calm that observes. Now, anchor this truth. Go to the comments and write this declaration for yourself and for the world. I am the mountain. Feel the power that resides in this perception. The change is already happening, but then real life comes along, doesn't it? And it tests us. And often, the most violent storm doesn't come from the sky, but from the person next to us. The storm sometimes has a first name, a last name, and even lives in the same house as us. How can you be the mountain when a coworker provokes you? How do you maintain equanimity when a family member criticizes you? How do you not get attached to the outcome when the person you love disappoints you? This is where Krishna's hack becomes the most practical tool you will ever have. Let's apply our code to this human storm. Step 1. Identify the attachment. What takes away your peace in a relationship? It's not the person. It's your attachment to how that person should be. You are attached to the idea that your partner should understand you, that your boss should recognize you, that your friend should agree with you. Your suffering is born and lives in this gap between your expectation and the other person's reality. Krishna teaches us to let go of this expectation. The other person is their own universe with their own storms. You cannot control them. Step 2. Anchor yourself in your duty. Dharma. If you can't control the other person, where do you focus? On yourself. on your right action. Instead of asking, why are they acting this way? Ask yourself, what is my Dharma in this situation? Perhaps your Dharma is patience, and your right action is to take a deep breath and not react. Perhaps your Dharma is firmness, and your right action is to set a boundary with clarity and respect by saying no. Perhaps your Dharma is compassion, and your right action is to try to understand the pain behind the other's anger. Or perhaps your Dharma is silence, and the right action is to simply withdraw from the situation to protect your peace. Focusing on your Dharma takes you out of the role of a reactive victim and puts you in the role of the conscious protagonist of your own life. Step 3. Practice equanimity. Samatvam. The words and actions of others are like the weather. If someone praises you, it's a sunny day. Be grateful, but don't let it define who you are. If someone criticizes you, it's a storm. Observe. Learn if there is something to learn. But don't let it shake your inner mountain. Their opinion is about them, about their world, about their pain. It is not the truth about you. You don't have to absorb someone else's storm. You can be the safe harbor, the calm that observes their turmoil without letting yourself be drowned. This isn't being cold. On the contrary, often the most loving thing you can do for someone in the middle of a storm is not to enter the storm with them, but to offer the stability of your own peace. Let's make this practical. Think of that person or situation that most challenges your calm. Without ever mentioning names or details, share with us in the comments just one word that describes what your Dharma, your right action, would be in that relationship. Would it be patience, firmness, compassion, silence, dialogue, distance? Choose your power word. By defining your action, you take the reins of the situation. You stop being a drifting boat and become the captain of your own soul. Perfect. We have already looked outward. Now, with the confidence we have built, it is time to take the most courageous journey of all, the journey inward. Let's face the battlefield of our own mind. Patience, firmness, compassion, silence. The power words you all shared are beacons. They are proof that you already have wisdom within you. That's beautiful. But now, we need to talk about the subtlest enemy, the adversary we cannot avoid, whom we cannot distance ourselves from, the one who sleeps and wakes up with us, our own mind, or, more specifically, that voice, that tireless voice inside our head that acts as judge, jury, and executioner, our inner critic. It's the voice that, even after a great achievement, whispers, "You could have done better." It's the voice that, in the face of the smallest mistake, shouts, "I knew it. You always ruin everything." It's the voice that compares you to others, that reminds you of every past failure, and that projects disaster scenarios into the future. This voice is the greatest source of chaos in a human being's life. Why do we suffer so much with it? For the same reason as always: attachment. We desperately cling to an image of perfection. We want the success of being infallible, of being always good, strong, and admirable, and we have a mortal dread of the failure of being seen, or of seeing ourselves as flawed, inadequate, or vulnerable. The inner critic is the guardian of this prison of perfectionism, and the battle against it seems impossible. But Krishna's hack doesn't just apply to the external world. It is, first and foremost, a tool to win this civil war in our consciousness. Anchor yourself in your duty, Dharma, to yourself. When this voice attacks you, ask yourself, what is my duty to myself right now? Is it to punish myself? Is it to whip myself with the past? Or is my duty self-compassion? Is my duty to learn from the mistake and move forward? Your primordial Dharma is to be the guardian of your own peace. Your right action is to treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend who is suffering. Practice equanimity, Samatvam, with your thoughts. This is the most transformative step. Krishna teaches us to observe. Just observe. The voice of the inner critic is a thought. It is not the truth. It is a mental event. It is a cloud passing in the sky of your consciousness. It is a storm of synapses. But it is not you. You are the mountain. You are the sky. You are the calm that watches the thought arise and pass away. When the voice says, you are a failure, instead of believing or fighting with it, just observe and say to yourself, ah, hello. It is the thought that I am a failure. Interesting. You create distance. You take away its power. You stop identifying with the storm. You are not a failure. You are a divine being who is having a thought of failure. The difference is immense. It is the difference between prison and freedom. This voice loves to label us. It sentences us. I am stupid. I am weak. I am not enough. Today, we are going to rewrite that sentence. It is an act of liberation. Go to the comments and complete this sentence with all your strength. I am Masar Rio, but today I choose to be a Risar. Example, my mind sometimes says, I am not enough, but today I choose to be a courageous learner. Declare your new truth. You are not the voice in your head. You are the consciousness that hears it, and you can choose which voice to believe. Perfect. The inner foundation is growing stronger. We have already learned to defend ourselves from external and internal storms. Now, Krishna will teach us to transform our daily actions, even the most mundane ones, into sources of power and peace. Of course, here is the translation. Now that we are learning to calm the mind, Krishna gives us the next step. How do we maintain that calm while acting in the world? How do we bring that mountain peace into our office, our home, our daily routine? The answer is one of the most revolutionary ideas in spirituality, transforming action itself into meditation. This is what is called karma yoga, the yoga of action. It is the heart of the Bhagavad Gita. Most of us live in a dichotomy. We believe that work, chores, and obligations are the chaos, and that meditation, prayer, and peace are things we do afterwards when we have time in our own sacred corner. Krishna turns this idea upside down. He says, your desk can be your altar. Washing the dishes can be your prayer. Answering an email can be your act of devotion. How? By applying our code precisely when you are 100% focused on your duty, Dharma, on the task before you, without being distracted by the past or future, and when you are 100% detached from the outcome, from success or failure, Samatvam, your mind enters a state of flow, a state of deep concentration and peace. Action ceases to be a stress-inducing burden and becomes a practice that generates energy and clarity. Think of the most mundane task in your routine. Perhaps it's making the bed, driving to work, or filling out a spreadsheet. Normally, what do? We perform the task on autopilot while our mind races at 1,000 miles an hour, jumping from one worry to the next. The action gets done, but the mind has produced more chaos. This is what the Gita calls karma bandhana, action that imprisons. Now, imagine doing the same task as a karma yogi, making the bed. Feel the texture of the sheet. Observe the movement of your hands. Be fully present in this simple act, without judgment, without rushing, without thinking about the next step. For that minute, making the bed is the only thing that exists in the universe. The task is the same, but the inner experience is one of peace. This is karma yoga, action that liberates. This is Krishna's hack for productivity and for peace. Stop seeking peace outside of your work. Find peace in your work. Any action done with presence and detachment becomes sacred. You no longer need to wait for the weekend to feel calm. You can find the sacred on a Monday morning. Let's seal this commitment. Think of the most routine, perhaps the most boring task of your day, the one you do on autopilot. Describe this task in the comments and add the powerful declaration, and I will make it my meditation. Examples: answering emails, and I will make it my meditation. Or taking the kids to school, and I will make it my meditation. By doing this, you are transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. You are turning your entire life into a spiritual practice. Perfect. We transformed space. Now, let's transform time. We have already learned to sanctify our actions. Now, we will learn to sanctify each moment, freeing ourselves from the chains of the past and the anxiety of the future. There is another weight we carry, another source of chaos that robs us of the peace of the present moment. Our relationship with time. Our mind is rarely here, now. It is a compulsive time traveler. Either it is in the past, acting as an archaeologist of pain, excavating every mistake, every regret, every word that should not have been said. Or it is in the future, working as an architect of anxiety, designing catastrophic scenarios and worrying about bridges that may not even exist. We live haunted by the ghosts of what was and paralyzed by the monsters of what might be. The present, the only place where life truly happens, becomes just a brief and uncomfortable interval between nostalgia and worry. Krishna's code, our anchor verse, is the cure for this sickness of time. How to deal with the past, the failure. The past, with its mistakes and successes, fits perfectly into the category of success and failure. Krishna asks us to practice equanimity, Samatvam, in relation to it. This doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't happen. It means changing its function. The past ceases to be an accuser and becomes a teacher, a guru, a master, sometimes stern, but always wise. Your Dharma is not to carry the guilt of the past, but to extract the lesson from it. The key question changes from why did I do that to what did I learn from that. You honor the past by learning from it. And then, with reverence, you let it go. You don't live there anymore. How to deal with the future, the success. Anxiety about the future is the exact definition of attachment to the fruit of action. We want to control what will happen. We want guarantees. Krishna shows us that peace is only found when we let go of this control. How? By transforming our action into an offering. In Sanskrit, this is called yajna. You do your best now, focused on your Dharma, not as a payment to obtain a specific result in the future, but as a gift, an act of devotion that you offer to life, to the divine, to the universe. You plant the seed as best you can, and you trust in the process of the harvest, which is no longer in your hands. Action ceases to be an anxious investment and becomes an expression of trust. When you treat the past as a master and the future as an altar to which you send your offerings, something miraculous happens. You are forced to live in the only place left, the now. The present becomes your sanctuary, your refuge, the only point of real power you have. This step requires an act of surrender, an act of faith. I invite you to practice this detachment right now. Go to the comments and write this prayer of liberation. I surrender my past with gratitude and my future with trust. Let these words be more than words. Let them be a decree from your soul. By releasing the shackles of time, you find the freedom to simply be here, now, with pleasure. We have arrived at the moment to unite all this wisdom into a practical and powerful tool. We will transform philosophy into an action plan for moments of greatest need. I surrender my past with gratitude and my future with trust. What an act of power. What a liberation. I feel that together we have reached a place of immense strength and clarity. Until now, we have explored the depths of Krishna's philosophy. But philosophy is only valuable if it can be used when crisis hits. When the phone rings with bad news, when anxiety wakes you up at 3 a.m., when chaos is not a theory, but a screaming reality in front of you. For those moments, you need a first aid kit for the soul, an emergency protocol. And that's what we are going to build now, with the tools Krishna has given us. It is a simple, direct, and powerful 3-step process based on everything we have learned. I call it the Divine Calm Protocol. Imagine the crisis has just hit. Panic begins to rise. The heart races. The mind goes into a tailspin. What do? Step 1. Stop the mountain's anchor. Do nothing. Say nothing. Decide nothing. The first reaction in chaos is almost always the wrong one. Before anything else, you need to create a space, no matter how small, between the trigger and your reaction. Remember, I am the mountain. The storm has arrived, but it is not you. Practical action. Take 3 deep breaths, slowly and consciously. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. These 3 breaths are your pause button. They prevent your mind from being hijacked by emotion and bring you back to a minimum sense of center. This is Samatvam in immediate practice. Step 2. Ask the Dharma compass. Now that you have created a small space of calm, activate your anchor. Ask yourself the key question that trains your mind to get out of panic mode. and focus on the solution. What is my duty, Dharma, in this exact moment? Not tomorrow, not in an hour, now. What is the next right action? The chaotic mind will give you 1,000 disaster scenarios. The Dharma compass will give you just one clear direction. Perhaps the action is make a phone call, or ask for help, or be silent and listen, or check a fact before jumping to conclusions. Find the simplest, most immediate, and constructive action. Step 3. Act and release. The offering of trust. Once you have identified the next right action, execute it with all your presence, with all your excellence, like the artisan who focuses only on their work. This is your karma yoga. And here is the final touch, Krishna's golden seal. The moment the action is completed, surrender it. Release the outcome. You have done your part. You have rowed your boat. The river's movement, the final destination, belongs to the divine. You have made your offering. Now trust, stop, ask, act, and release. This is the practice. It's your first aid kit. In the beginning, it might feel mechanical, but with time, it will become your second nature. You will become the person who, in the middle of a fire, knows exactly where the emergency exit is. For this protocol to become fixed in your mind and heart, let's anchor it together. Go to the comments and write the 3 steps for yourself and our community. 1. Stop. 2. Ask. 3. Act and release. Save this video to your emergencies playlist. Write it down on a piece of paper and stick it on your fridge. This is your map back to peace. You now have the tools. You are prepared. Take a deep breath. Feel the energy we have created together. Look at the journey we have taken, not just here in this video, but within ourselves. This is no longer a comments section. It is a living temple, a record of our courage, our vulnerability, and our collective choice for calm. I bow in respect to each and every one of you. We began in the midst of a stormy ocean, searching for a lighthouse, and what we discovered through the eternal wisdom of Krishna is that the lighthouse isn't on some distant shore. We are the lighthouse. If I could leave a single image in your heart today, it would be this, that of the lotus flower. The lotus is the most spiritual plant for a reason. It is born and grows in the mud, in the dark, still water, in the mire. That mire is chaos. It is the world with its problems, its difficulties, its storms. The lotus does not flee from the mud. It does not try to dry the lake. It uses the mud itself as a nutrient to grow strong and resilient toward the light. And then, on the surface, it blooms, pure, radiant, immaculate, without a single stain of mud on its petals. This is the final blessing and Krishna's greatest lesson for us. Peace is not the absence of chaos. Peace is not escaping to a place without problems. True peace is the ability to flourish in the midst of chaos. You are the lotus. Your life, with all its challenges, is the mud. Do not curse the mud. It is the fertilizer for your growth. And the code we learned today, focusing on your duty, Dharma, with a balanced mind, Samatvam, surrendering each action with trust, is the sun that pulls you to the surface toward your own light. You have the tools. You have the map. You have the first aid kit. But above all, You have the inner strength, your mountain essence, your lotus beauty. This video is not a destination. It is a refuge. Save it. Return to it whenever the storm comes, whenever you need to remember your strength. And please do not keep this peace only for yourself. Light grows stronger when it is shared. If this message touched your heart, be a lighthouse in someone's life today. Share this video with someone you love, with someone you know is fighting their own chaos. A small light can illuminate an entire room. Continue to use the comments as our sacred space. Share your victories, your difficulties. I will be here, reading and learning with you. May your mind find the balance of the mountain. May your heart find the beauty of the lotus. And may the peace that surpasses all understanding, the divine peace that Krishna offered us, be your anchor today and for all the days of your life. Go in peace and flourish.